Welcome Knightline Live with your hosts Jerry Middleton and Rick Fletcher. Knightline Live is filmed in front of a studio audience. Welcome to Knightline Live. It's Monday night at 7 o'clock. I'm Jerry Middleton, and along with me tonight is Rick Fletcher. And Rick, tonight a very special show. We've never done anything like this before.
No, you and I, we kind of concocted the idea of putting together this show. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you, Jerry, I'm going to be honest with you. It took some work to get it together.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
We're going to talk college recruitment. So if you're a young athlete and you're coming up the ranks and you want to be recruited or you want to go to college and play ball, you got to get into the system and know how to, know how it works. And what I've learned is it's all over the place, literally all over the place.
Oh,
so.
it is all over the place. And I was, head volleyball coach at a college for, I think, 7 seasons. So I've been down that recruiting trail.
Right.
And then my son played baseball, and so been on that recruiting side of things. And then my oldest daughter played volleyball.
Well, we had an opportunity to talk to Carson Terrell, a football player.
Yep.
He's going to go play football. Addison Mastriano. And also Addison's mom, Carrie Mastriano, because when you're being recruited, it's a family affair. Now, I want to remind tell everybody that we had to kind of put this together. This was all last minute. And Addie and Carson, our hope was they would be here and we would have them live, but that was never going to work out because their schedules are deadly for both these kids. But we did it. We were able to sit them down. I'm going to tell you right now, Jerry, I told them it was going to be a 20-minute interview, and 44 minutes later we were done and probably not quite finished.
Yeah.
We could have gone longer. I also invited Jamie Terrell, Carson's mom, or his dad Jason, to see if they would like to participate. But again, this was last minute, all right? So, and they weren't available, but we appreciate Carrie coming on. So we've broken this interview down into 3 parts. So let's go right now and see part 1. Welcome to a very special edition of Knightline. We are on location tonight, and I'll explain that later, but I have 2 very special guests. Well, actually I have 3 guests. 2 are students and 1's a mom. We'll explain why mom's here. Actually, Carrie's the first mom we've ever had on, her parents, so this is a new thing for us. Tonight we're talking college recruitment. There's a lot of you who watch this. Either you've been through this or you're coming up the ranks and you want to know what it's all about. We have Carson Terrell as a senior and Addison Mastriano as a junior. They've both been heavily involved in the recruiting process. Carson's been in football and Addie's been in basketball. So we're hoping that these guys here tonight, they can share their wisdom with us and we can all learn. Plus, maybe we'll have a little fun tonight, guys, too. So let's hope we can do that. All right, so we're going to start with Carson because you've already kind of been all the way through the process. And you're a senior this year. This is probably a pretty busy time of year for you. You're a senior, you're playing baseball, your graduation's coming, you're getting ready for the rest of your life. So glad you could come here.
Appreciate it.
All right. So tell me, let's go back to somewhere near the beginning. What was your thoughts as far as when you decided that you might want to go to college and play some football? What went into that?
So growing up, I've always wanted to do baseball going to college, but after playing football and starting sophomore year, I kind of grew more passion towards football.
Right.
But then I broke the collarbone, which means it wanted me to work harder for the next season, and then junior year really got my exposure out there, going for the camps and just getting better, especially during the season.
Yeah.
So that's probably what really got it going and really believed in myself to do it.
All right, so I remember you guys went through a rough stretch in your football program when you guys were all sophomores. I mean, there was some rough games out there, but you could see you grew. And you took that year. So next year you were quite a bit better. And last year, Carson, you had a monstrous year. Your stats were otherworldly for a high school quarterback. I got to tell you, you and Noah Ammerman, boy, if you guys probably ought to bunk in together and go to the same place. I don't know what Noah's doing, but that combination was a lot of fun to watch. So, all right, so you're into your sophomore year, junior year. What are some things you started doing in your junior year?
Probably the first thing I would do is go to like Indiana showcases.
Okay,
So, like,
these are camps,
yeah,
right?
camps that are just.
Now, are these camps that you have to be invited to, you will go to? How does that work out?
Some get invited, but for me as a starter, I wasn't doing that well, so I just signed up.
Okay,
But
all right.
then I'd say like I had about 2 or 3 camps. Being colleges there, I'm sure they could see my potential, so I started getting more invites to camps, which really boosted my.
And in your junior, senior year, or before your senior year, the camps were all pretty much before football season, I'm assuming. How many camps did you attend?
Probably like
A bunch, huh?
yeah, 40 plus probably.
Wow, you were a busy guy then.
Yes.
And where were you going? So what's the farthest place you were traveling to go to a camp?
I'd probably say Austin P.
Okay, which is where? Where is that?
I think Kentucky.
Kentucky, okay. So you were traveling around, all these camps are
Well, it's
either...
Tennessee.
Tennessee,
Yeah.
okay. See, I don't know my geography either, so... So all these camps are either at a college or at a big high school, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So tell us about the interaction you get there, and there's guys around you that are as good or better than you probably. So tell us how that fit in with you.
I mean, really just looking at the quarterbacks I was competing with, I knew I had to get better. I was probably ranked the lowest one. That's starting out, but then just working with them, I'd seen some of the familiar faces even today, just getting recruited and stuff. So probably just working with them, and then also getting the help from other coaches, whether it's college coaches or athletic coaches, just anything really.
Okay, so so you made a lot of friends.
Yes.
Probably guys you're still friends with now, and that's kind of a side note there. People that are outside of your sphere here. This is a small town. We're out here in the cornfields. This is not Indianapolis, okay? We're not in a big city. We are definitely small town. TEC is a small conference, okay? That we don't get a lot of notoriety around here. So those are the types of things that you got to do then. All right, so I'm going to go to Addie, but we're going to come back to you, Carson, because we're just starting the story here. Addie, different route for a basketball player because you have AAU season. Mm-hmm. And you've been playing for as long as I've been following your mom on Facebook, okay? and we really follow you. So tell us, go back to near the beginning of, when you decided that, all right, I want to be a college basketball player and I'm going to take those steps. So tell us about that.
I started basketball with AAU pretty much.
Okay.
So I went right into AAU with a team that was mentioned by one of our friends.
Okay.
So I kind of started off with that, and I was a 4th grader playing with like 6th graders and stuff because they didn't have a younger team.
All right, so you were just a young kid then.
Yeah, I was the baby of the whole entire program.
Okay.
So it was rough. The first year, I honestly wanted to quit. I was like in the car telling my parents like I didn't want to do this. I was kind of lazy.
Okay, it's typical.
I was like 5th, 6th grade, so I was kind of like, I'm just here, I guess.
Okay.
But once I got older into middle school, like seeing how, obviously I'm taller than everyone.
Right.
I have an advantage.
Yeah.
And considering my dad's height and build, I was already stronger than everybody.
Well, your dad's a loud fan also. We've heard
right.
all throughout the years here.
So I kind of already had an advantage, and I already had confidence in myself to do it. So, I always, like in middle school, I played volleyball, and when I was younger, I played softball, but basketball was just different for me. Like, I loved it a lot just because I had a lot of confidence, and I enjoyed it, being around my teammates and the competitiveness of it.
All right, so I'm going to ask you something. I don't want to take you. You've probably been bigger than most of your classmates. Did you go through an awkward stage physically? We all do. I mean, guys go through what I call the goober stage, okay? And eventually when you mature, you grow out of that. But as you were probably taller than most of your teammates, especially if you're playing your age group. I'm guessing, is that reasonable?
Yeah. I don't even know if I've ever grown out of that awkward stage. I've always been tall.
Well, when you get to college, you will. I promise you.
Right,
that, okay? And, you know, when you go to college, you're going to see players that are as good as you probably, you know, where if you've been better than the other players on the court, you're going to see everybody's pretty much good at that point, no matter what level you're at. All right, so 5th and 6th grade, 7th grade, as you moved up, you started developing that interest.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was all through AAU basketball, and then you played middle school or whatever it is, around here. All right, I'll come back to you. We got to go to the mom, all right, because I'm smart enough to know that moms rule, okay? They are the keepers of the schedule, okay? And I'm assuming, Carrie, that's you, all
Yes.
right? Okay, so you're watching your daughter. She's doing all these things. She's coming in. She's crying. She doesn't want to play anymore, and you know, doing those types of things. But you're watching her go through the process, and you're on the road with her too. I mean, I don't want to ask you how much you guys have spent in hotel bills, but I'm guessing it's been a lot. Okay,
Yes.
because Addie's been playing for how many years now? 8 or 9 years, or that's a long time. All right, so what is your role? You know, obviously support role and get everybody, you know, make sure the trains are running on time. So tell us about your experience as Addie was growing up and going through those stages of, gee, I don't know, or do I want to do this? So.
Well, I remember the very first AAU practice, and she was with 6th graders, like she said, as a 4th grader. But she looked like one of the 6th graders because she was tall.
Okay.
And they were running some drills, and it was like a deer in headlights. I felt so sorry for her because she had no idea what she was doing.
Right.
And then she didn't start the games or anything. We played out of Noblesville, and it was a small AAU.
Okay.
And so then after a couple years, she got some experience. You know, you play up, you get better. And she loved her coach. She still loves that coach. It's her favorite coach ever. And then COVID hit. So when COVID hit as an 8th grader, that team fell apart.
Okay.
They didn't travel anymore. They didn't want to travel or do anything. And so I don't know how we heard about probably from the Kirchers maybe, about going to Fort Wayne to Always 100.
Okay, different league, different AAU team
Yes.
organization. AAUs has probably a lot of different organizations all over the country.
Yeah. So she played with Midwest Finest first.
Okay.
And with Lee Larkins, and then she loved them. They were like family to us, and to her especially. And then when COVID hit and it deteriorated, then we said, Addison, do you want to take a look at Always? You know, that's a program that NARD knows a lot of college coaches. If you want to, you know, do this further, this might be an opportunity for you. And she was very hesitant because she was so committed to her first team.
Okay.
So one of those April days that we weren't in school during that COVID time, we drove up there to meet Nard and to see, you know, how he coaches and things like that. And we just asked Addison, you know, just give it a shot, just see what it's out there. And on the way home, I think she decided that she wanted to make that commitment because it was a drive time, an hour's drive to Noblesville versus 2 hours to Fort Wayne for practice every week.
Yeah.
So
that's a long haul. That's a commitment, right?
It is and it's not only, you know, commitment for her, but if you're doing this as a parent, it's a commitment for
because you're the one driving and going to the practices. I mean, Addie's in the 8th grade, or 9th grade, Addie's not driving herself up. You're going with her.
Right.
So, you know, not only does Addie make lifelong friends, but I'm guessing the parents, you guys make a lot of lifelong friends too. Because you're all in it together, you're all at the practices, you're all at the games.
Yeah, we're still friends with a lot of families from Noblesville too. So very much
so it is fun, it's busy, but you know, you will miss it at some point when it's all over.
We keep telling ourselves that.
But you'll look back with a lot of smiles on your face and that type of thing. So
welcome back to Knightline Live. Rick, part 1 done. I love the setting.
Well, in the library, you know, that's where I was set up. I want to thank Rodney. He helped me get set up over there.
I think it was Colonel Mustard in the library, right?
Sure.
with the candlestick.
Yeah,
for the old game of Clue. But that was really nice there. Great interview so far.
Well, let me tell you, you know, just to kind of recap that first, because we got a lot more to go, Jerry, and we're going to be discussing a lot more things here. But you have Carson football. He did it through going to camps. Okay, Addie her avenue was AAU basketball.
Yep.
Okay, and there's no AAU basketball for football.
Correct.
So there's going to be a different avenue there. And you know, talking to the parents, I had a chance to talk with Jason Terrell, Carson's dad, and he says, you don't know what you're getting when you're getting into a camp. You don't know if it's a quality camp. Someone could tell you it's a quality camp, but it's not, and it ends up being a dud. So you kind of take your chances.
Well, and it could be a quality camp last year.
Yeah.
And this year it's not because they've changed.
And maybe different coaches, usually
Different
run by
assistant
coaches come in and run that thing. So, but with Carson, like he said on the interview, he got to his first camp and he realized he had to get better. I think this theme you're going to hear from both Addie and Carson is work. It's work, and they had to work.
It is work. And when I was the head coach at college, I'd always tell the kids, I said, you know, remember that real good hard hit in high school? I said, that's every play now. Every play, that's what it is. And if you want to get there, you have to work, and you got to get better.
Well, we're going to get into some of those things here, especially with Carson. You know, he had, Addie's been doing AAU for a long time. Carson had a later start at this avenue here because it's typical you do your camps probably in high school. So, all right, we got to pay some bills, Jerry.
Oh, Lordy.
So let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
We'll have part 2 of this interview when we come back. You're watching Knightline, and we're live.
KOA exit 151A, registration in the general store. It's a family-owned campground with pull-through parking for RVs or travel trailers with full hookups. Rent a cabin. Relax at one of the fire pits or picnic by the pond. A playground for the kids, or get in around the golf before dinner. Take a water-soaking hayride, lay out by the pool, and then take a dip.
"13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. That fear is the only enemy, the only thing keeping you from feeling that power in your bones. And here we are, right here, right now. Let's fly."
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
Go Knights!
Coming together every day to make a difference for you, for me, and everyone in between. Because at Dot Foods, when we celebrate each other's differences and work together to make the community a better place, we become great together. At Dot Foods, what matters to you matters to us, where communities matter. Dot Foods.
Dreaming of having more space? With a mortgage from First Financial, you're golden. We keep things simple with friendly, personalized service from application to closing. We'll help you find the right mortgage loan to fit your unique needs. Plus, you can qualify for relationship pricing with an eligible checking account. And since we live in the communities we serve, you can count on our local knowledge to make sure the pieces fall into place for an on-time closing. So stop dreaming and start moving with First Financial Bank.
First! Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more! Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax. Welcome back to Knightline Live, and we're getting ready for session 2 here of Recruitment 101.
I think the reason we're doing this, Jerry, and what the theme of this is, and then talking to the Mastrianos and the Terrells, and there's others out there also. Number one, we're a small school.
Absolutely.
You know, like I said on the interview, we're not. The Indy Star's not going to come over here and do a full length, feature on Addie or Carson or anybody else. It's just not going to happen.
No.
And no television, no TV coverage. Maybe small, notoriety with our live stream.
But the live stream, Rick, is all you need.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that
we're
also.
Big.
So. The next segment's going to be our longest segment. This will be number 2 out of 3. A lot of interesting things go on. Talking to coaches, it's very interesting. Both Addie and Carson. Carson had a great road trip he told us about. So let's go in and let's watch part 2 of Carson and Addie. Carson, let's get back to you. All right, so now. You've been to these camps, all right? Now it's time to go visit colleges, all right? So what's the process in deciding, are you invited? Do you call and ask for to talk to the coach? Tell us how that process works.
For me, it was just colleges reaching out to me, coaches. So
okay, all right.
The first one was IU, which was junior year, about 3 weeks into football.
All right, so a Division I
school. So that was the
school.
very first start that really boosted me to keep working and really push myself.
Okay.
So then after that, it was just always coaches, and then whatever.
When you say coaches, would it be assistant coaches, head coaches, or a combination?
It would be the recruiting coordinator.
Okay.
And then the quarterback coach or the head coach.
Okay.
Those are usually the 3 that would invite me.
All right. So what are some of the schools that you visited as you went through the process here? IU. You went to IU. Okay.
IU, Ole Miss. Mizzou.
All right, so these are big schools.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't end up at a D1 school. All right, so what were your thoughts? So when you went down to Ole Miss, football crazy area, you went down for a visit, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And you stayed and went to a ball game, and huge stadium, place was packed, I'm guessing.
It's Arkansas.
Yeah, SEC football, all right? We haven't seen that around here. All right, tell me about that experience visiting there.
Oh, that was crazy. That's probably the most exciting game I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane.
So what do they do? How does it work? They bring you in, they put you up. Tell us the process when you get there.
So the day before, which was Friday, we had a football game against Knightstown. So as soon as we got home from Knightstown, we drove 10 hours to Ole Miss.
Okay.
So we got there like right as the game started.
All right. And were there other recruits also
Yes.
there? And did the coaches put you in a room and talk to you, or was that kind of one-on-one conversation, or is it different everywhere?
It's different everywhere, but for that game specifically, we started out going to watch the game.
Okay.
I'm not sure what was ahead of or what was before because I just wasn't able to make it.
I understand.
But after the game, we met with some of the players and coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they have nice facilities.
Yeah.
A little better than what we have here. Is that
Archie
true?
Manning.
Yeah.
That's the training facility.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because he's an Ole Miss grad.
Yep.
A lot of tradition down there. All right, some of the other schools you visited, University of Missouri. What are some other big time schools that you went to see?
There's a lot, but there's some that are local. I could definitely tell you, like Indiana Wesleyan,
Okay.
Taylor University, obviously University of Indianapolis,
Right.
and then they're so spread out. I can't even name them all.
You were up and down the line then, as far as D1, D3 schools,
Yes.
all the way through. So your considerations were varied then. You know, obviously you go to a D3 school, it's going to be way different than a D1 school. or even you're in a D2 school. We'll talk about that in a minute here. All right, Addie, now I got to hear you. Again, your mom's great at posting Facebook pictures, so we know where you've been. So tell us about some of the places you've been in your recruiting process, and what you've done and how it works, and whatever you want to share with us.
A lot of stuff came from like elite camps. Like when I go to elite camps,
Okay.
they do like a campus, like we go around campus, check things out, check out facilities and things like that.
And these camps are at typically a college campus, and there's
Right.
coaches will come in from various places.
Well, so usually with these elite camps, like the college I'm going to, the college coaches there will invite you, and it's just for them.
Okay.
So like they will make specific things, like you'll have a group and you can go around and look at campus, and then you'll do drills and different things like that.
And there's other recruits there also with you, and typically how many recruits would be there? Or is it different every time?
It's different, just depending on the school you go to and the time of the year, honestly. But probably average like 100 maybe.
Oh
something
wow!
like that.
There's not a lot of basketball roster spots either.
Right.
And they're getting 100 recruits in just a camp.
Mm-hmm.
Tells you a lot of competition then.
Yeah.
And you probably saw a lot of girls you were better than, you felt you were better than, and you felt they were better than you, I'm assuming, at these camps.
Right.
Talent level is like that. All right, so tell us about some of the schools that you've been to and what your thoughts are. Like Carson went to Ole Miss, we're all jealous over here. Carson, I gotta tell you that, So tell us about some of the schools that you visited.
Obviously I've been to Detroit.
Yeah.
Robert Morris, Murray State,
Eastern Michigan was your first
Eastern
offer.
Michigan.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, here's what I've always been curious about. All right, how do the offers come? Do they call you? Did they text you? Did they send carrier pigeons? Is it email? I mean, to me, that's a big deal. If they're gonna offer you, I'm old school. I can't imagine a text message, but you tell me, how do those offers come?
So it honestly just depends on the coaches in the school, how they want to do it. Usually, like they feel more comfortable coming on a visit and getting to check things out and offering you in person.
Okay.
And then I got an offer from St. Mary's in California.
Yeah,
and
that's Gonzaga's out there too in that conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had actually been at St. Mary's for 4 days. Like they were new coaches there.
Okay.
And had called me. I hadn't talked to them for a couple weeks. Called me and said, "We're offering you," and it was like a 10-minute conversation. On
the telephone.
Right. Yeah.
All right. This opens up a little avenue here as far as St. Mary's. They're a long ways away from here. They're not around the corner. It's not like an IU or that type of thing. How did that come about that you got in with got an offer from them?
I honestly have talked to a lot of coaches out in California and things like that. Like I'm not a homebody. I have no problem going wherever.
Yeah.
But I have talked to like Cal State Fullerton, Long Beach State, things like that. So I mean, my coaches and like our coordinator for our program like gets our name out there and things like that, and Cody helps me out a lot. So it just depends on like if they've seen me, like see my highlights, like it just like social media and getting your name out there is a big thing.
Yeah.
And so it's really if they have seen you or are interested or anything like that, they message you.
And is that how, like, do they ask you to send a game tape, or do they, a lot of times, they can get footage of you from various places on the internet now. It's pretty available, either through your high school or your AAU team. On your AAU teams, do you guys do film that they'll put together a film for you to send to coaches, or how does that work?
Actually, no.
Yeah, okay. Well,
there's
they ought to.
some teams do,
okay,
but her team doesn't. So it's just like posts and things from always, because the organization is big because everybody knows the NARD
Okay.
And so he knows a lot of college coaches. So when he has a lot of players that have gone to D1 schools, so they trust him in his opinion, so they will call him.
Gotcha.
But Cody has been a great help.
Great.
He has been wonderful getting her name out there, sending film. Usually Dad puts the highlights together, and he did for Logan, but Cody's put a lot of highlights together for her too.
All right. Okay. So now, Carrie, I'm going to ask you. You're watching Addie get these offers coming in, and you've been to various schools. What's the conversation? Bring us into the household, okay, at the kitchen table with you, Jamie.
It's so funny because Jamie and I will be in the living room, and she will be back in her room, and we'll hear her on the phone. Like she's her own agent.
Okay.
Like she will schedule phone calls. She'll be out in her car on her way home and sit in the car for a while, and we're like, where is she? And she was out talking to a college coach.
Okay.
So the last couple weeks before she committed, she was talking to lots of coaches, like a couple maybe every evening.
Okay.
And
so it gets busy.
It does.
That's on top of your schedule too.
Right.
That you share.
Yeah. So in the coaches, I think moving her to Always 100, you have to get in a AAU program that gets the word out and that is popular, so to speak.
I got you.
So when she goes and plays, and we go to California, we go to Texas, we go to Alabama, we go to South Carolina to play ball the last 3 or 4 summers. So the team that she's playing with is one of the elite teams, and she's worked hard to get there because she trains 3 days a week outside of practices.
Right.
So when we go to these tournaments, like the Adidas tournaments, there are the parents have a place to sit, and there's coaches that are sitting, and there's like some top-notch coaches, IU, Connecticut, and all kinds of different places, and they're all lined up watching the girls play, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're like starstruck, because we see all of them. But that's how they, watch her play and watch the other girls play, and it's helped to be on a team that has lots of great players.
So you go to some of these big tournaments, I'm assuming a lot of talent around, all over the floor, on a lot of different teams. I'm assuming you have a lot of talent on your team also. Mm-hmm. So, hey, it must be fun though, really. It sounds like a lot of fun. I would love doing something like that. So that would be great. All right, Carson, back to you now. You're deciding between what schools you want to go to. So tell me what's a conversation like between you and a coach? How did it happen? Tell us how it happened. How did they make an offer to you?
So mine were usually on phone call as well. So they could range from either like 5 minutes to maybe 30. It just really depends.
Right.
So,
and they don't go through your parents. They go directly to you, or they go directly to Addie. Okay.
Although some of them have seen my mom's Twitter,
okay.
So some of them go through there to find me. One coach was telling me that. So
yeah, that makes kind of sense. That's getting the word out. You talked about Cody. Yeah, Cody's pretty active. You see him on social media promoting all of his players, and is promoting Addie. So. Let me ask you about, I don't want to, Wes Oler's a great coach, and has he been helpful in this process here with not just Wes, but all the coaching staff?
Yeah, they've all been a big help. I mean, they've helped develop me, helped get film together.
Yeah.
And just tell me, like, truthfully what I should put on there and what I think maybe like the best play may not actually be the best play, so they help me put it together.
Put together your game film.
Yes.
All right, so now we're down to, I don't know how many schools you were considering. You got a rough number there that you were considering?
Probably like 3, but I think I was going to get 1 more if I didn't commit.
Okay.
And I did.
Okay. Now, what was your decision going in to go be a Greyhound next year? Now, this is a Division II school.
Yes.
Okay. Probably what you're going to find, the talent level is going to be unlike anything you ever seen before, is my guess. Because even like at D3 schools, you still get a lot of talent, going to these schools. So how did that come about that you decided to go to University of Indianapolis? Number one, your mom's probably happy. They can go see every Saturday. Think about football, it's Saturday, okay? Right. Basketball is 3-4 nights a week, football's Saturday. Mm-hmm. And, college football is great because it's Saturday, you can go spend the whole day. Yeah. So anyways, I'm sorry, go ahead. Tell us what went into that decision.
I'd probably say just the way that they made me feel like family.
Okay.
Like the players would all come up and just welcome you to everybody.
All right.
And so obviously that, but also like the facilities I felt pretty good.
Yeah.
And I know that they're a winning program, which is something I wanted to be in. So
yeah. Now they're an NAIA school or an NCAA school?
NCAA.
Okay. All right. So they are Division II.
Yes.
They've had a winning tradition there. They've been to some playoffs. I'm not real familiar. As you go now, you've been there a few times. Since you've made the commitment there. Have you made friends with some of your recruits that are coming in? You guys know who your roommate's going to be, or how's that all working out?
So I got invited through Twitter, just with all the players. They added me to a group chat, which is just the 2023 recruit. So when we went to the spring game a couple weeks ago, it was just like we already known each other. Like it just clicked automatically. So,
all right.
But it was our first time meeting.
Yeah.
But just from Snapchat, really, that we're.
You knew them through social media.
Yeah.
Now you get to shake their hand. They're actually people.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, on a college team, how many players are there? There's a lot.
Yeah. So I think they're closer to 100 or more.
Yeah. You might even find a D3 school with 150 players.
Yeah.
They might dress 65 on game day, but you got a lot of players. What have the coaches told you as far as you and competing for some playing time? I'm assuming you had those conversations.
Kind of, but that was whenever I was on our visit. So it's just pretty much they had their quarterback that played most of last year.
Right.
He graduated, so now everybody's looking for the spot to compete.
So that's a good spot. That's a good position to be in. So there's going to be some competition.
Yes.
Okay. You're going to face that. What are your thoughts as you go into that situation where here Carson was going to be the quarterback? We knew that. Okay. There was nobody else around. All right. Carson was, and by the way, that was a good thing. Okay. So what are your thoughts as you go in? Now there's a guy who's probably as good as you. Maybe he's better than you, but you want to be better with him. And by the way, you guys are probably friends too.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about those dynamics.
I mean, I love it. It would just push me to become better in whatever he may be better than me in. So, like, for example, one quarterback has a crazy arm.
Yeah.
So seeing that just makes me want to work harder to get more arm strength and really just put the ball in play.
All right. So what was it about the University of Indianapolis that attracted you besides football? I mean, you're going to be studying, all right? Football's a full-time job. Studying's a full-time job. You have confidence you'll be able to manage all that. Because you're studying what? Electrical engineering or some crazy thing?
General engineering.
Well, whatever it is, it sounds hard to me, okay? So, are you confident? I'm going to say you probably are, that you'll be able to manage all that, and they'll help you. I mean, they have tutoring and, study sessions and all that. Your time, you think you can manage that being on a structured time like that?
I think I can. I mean, they have...
Got no choice now, right? Yeah. They're going into it.
I think 7 and 9, the coaches are there with you, making sure you're studying at the football facility. So, yeah.
All right. So when do you report? What days?
I'll be there in June for workouts.
Okay.
But Thursday and Friday because I'm not a local, which is unfortunate. But fall camp will start like around August, so I have to be there, and I'll get my dorm August 5th.
All right. So they don't have a summer program like we had summer football here. Is there a summer program that you'll be partaking in?
Yeah, they do. They gave me a whole packet, so that should all just be complete for the next 3 weeks. But I'll just try being up there as much as I can. Okay.
All right. So you can go on campus, be with the coaches. There's no problem doing that. Be with in the weight room, or working out. Or are there organized activities, organized team activities, like will you guys be doing 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, and all that?
That'll be later at night.
Okay.
So if I went there Thursday, I would stay the night with one of the teammates that are already there, like an upperclassman. And then we'd probably do 7-on-7s that night and whatever else we wanted to. And then Friday, it's workouts are either 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. You get to choose. So whatever that, and then we'll just have the rest of the day to mess around with each other.
All right, so here's your chance to give some props to your parents, okay? Again, I've always thought moms are the keeper of the schedules, and without them, the trains don't run on time. How much have they been involved in your decision as far as, where you might want to go and all those types of things?
I mean, yeah, they've probably been one of the biggest factors, mainly because they helped do it all with me. So,
Yeah.
whether
Is it stressful? I mean, a lot of stress.
Yes, going through the whole process was stressful, but it just feels like it never ends.
Yeah. Did you learn as you went? Were there things that you learned along the way that, I wished I would have known this, that maybe you could help somebody that might be watching this, the next Carson Terrell that lights it up on Friday night? Is there what's the one thing that you could say to that next guy that's coming up the ranks?
Mine would be get in the weight room early. That was my biggest thing
Okay.
because I didn't start until probably late sophomore year, junior year. So I felt like as soon as I started getting real big into weightlifting, obviously just training your feet,
Yeah.
that was probably the most thing that just stepped up my game.
And that's probably good advice for any high school player, no matter what sport you are. If you want to play seriously,
Yeah.
and be the best you can. You might not go to college, but you can be the best you can in high school, and that will go a long way.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and Rick and myself was talking off air a little bit. A quick story here. I was refereeing down in Louisville at a big tournament, 116 courts down there in these buildings. And so I'm sitting out in the hall out there having a bite to eat, and this guy goes, is anyone sitting here? I said, just you. Never looked up, never looked down. And he sits down, he's got this ball cap down over him, and it's Gino from UConn.
Oh, okay.
And
Ariamo, or however he
I
pronounces
started
it.
laughing. I said, what are you doing here? He says, one of my players is coaching, and she wanted me to come.
All right.
She said, so here I am, and guess what? Everybody has found me.
Well, all right. Getting back to Carson and Addie, the common theme, like I said, Jerry, there's a lot of work that goes into this. Carson, I don't know if we alluded to this, he went to probably 40 different camps.
Yep.
That's a lot of work. And you heard where Addie's been, as far as her AAU basketball goes.
And this stuff comes down to nowadays with social media, a lot different. Back when I coached, we got VHS tapes came in, stuff like that. But nowadays it's social media. So with social media, it comes down to self-promotion.
Exactly, and that's what they alluded to. Addie was her own agent. Carson, they were talking to the coaches. Addie said during the last couple of weeks, it was a couple coaches a night were calling her, and she'd be chatting with them, and I'm sure it was the same for Carson, talking to coaches, and they go directly to the athlete. They don't go to the parents.
You should see these boards that's in these coaches' offices. They got names. I did the same thing. You have names. First choice, second choice, third choice, and you're just all over the place. And someone says no, you scratch them off, then you move to your next choice. Now you're going, and they're the same way.
It's like a puzzle you're putting together
gosh.
as they're building their team.
It's like lottery day, and you don't know which ping pong ball is popping up.
Yeah, so another interesting thing, the coaching staff here, they both said that they were very helpful. We see Cody on social media all the time promoting his players. Wes and his coaching staff helping Carson, so they play a role also. So it's really, it's a team effort, and if you're a coach and they've got, let's say, if you got 3 or 4 girls or guys that are being recruited, that can be a lot of work. But
it's a lot of work.
all right, well, we've got one more segment of this, but
Ooh.
again, we still got to pay some bills,
All right,
Jerry.
you gotta pay something.
Let's go to that right now, and we'll come back with part 3 of Carson and Addie. You're watching Knightline, and we're live. This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Simharjan Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASE certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-bars. Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1010 1470 and tell them to go Knights!
Hey there, my name is Gibson and I would love to invite you to LifeSpring Students. That's our youth group at LifeSpring Church, which is just south of Northeastern on 27, and we meet from 7 to 8:30 on most Thursdays, but the doors open at 6:30. It's a great way to get to know more about God, meet some friends, as well as get to know about yourself some more as well. Plus, it's a lot of fun. We usually have some basketball and dodgeball, along with some other activities. And if you want to know more, check out lifespring.tv/students.
You've had a hard day at work and all you want to do is sit in your lounge chair in the nice cool air? Then it hits! The AC's not working. The living room feels like the Sahara Desert. Call Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. In just a short time, it'll be nice and cool. And then all you'll need is a sign that says, "No penguins allowed." Call 765-966-0994. Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Proud sponsors of the Knights. Did someone say boom, baby? Call Scoretti Pyrotechnics at 765-977-2757. Scoretti Pyrotechnics has performances for birthdays, weddings, school athletic events, other occasions, and of course, the 4th of July. Scoretti Pyrotechnics are proud supporters of Knights Athletics. Boom, baby! Rick, thank goodness somebody called timeout because I am hungry.
I'm starved, Jerry. Hey, with 3 different Richmond locations and 1 in Hagerstown, there's a Subway sandwich shop near you.
And you can always order off the app for curbside pickup. The drive-thru's always open, and the way that I prefer it, I just like to walk in.
Here's your sub.
Listen, Subway, eat fresh.
Go Knights!
Smith, McQuiston, and Webster Funeral Home has proudly served the Fountain City area since 1886. From the time you walk up the steps, Funeral Director Keith Webster's goal is to carry forward the legacy of personal service established by the Smith and McQuiston families. Using modern technology and good old-fashioned attention to detail, we will strive to earn your confidence in us by treating families the way we think we would want to be treated. Smith, McQuiston, Webster Funeral Home. Welcome back to Knightline Live. And Rick, we've seen session 1, session 2, and I'm sure session 3 is going to get good because I'm sure we're going to have Mrs. Mastriano is going to get a little more involved in section 3 and talk about that.
Well, like we said, for both Addie and Carson's parents, it's a family affair.
Absolutely.
Everybody's in on the process.
Well,
and, a lot of stress, Jerry. A lot of stress goes down,
We were talking about this off the air. Sometimes you got to crunch numbers.
Yeah.
And see, somebody might be giving you this and somebody might be giving you this, but this may end being better even though it's less because they're going to...
Well, you're going to find Carrie's going to address that exact point in Addie's decision to go to Detroit Mercy was the other things that were available to her also, and we're gonna address that. Yeah. Also, when I said in the beginning, I told Carson and Addie and Carrie 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're ending up at 44 minutes or almost 45 minutes of interview time. You're going to hear my wife in the background because she was running the camera for us, and she gave me the 37 minutes. So by then I realized, hey, we're way over time. So, anyways, let's go to part 3.
But when you get this Pulitzer,
hey, if it helps somebody,
absolutely,
if we can give a little more information out there, because it's a blind process for most of these people.
It is a blind process.
You don't know what you're doing, and you learn as you go.
That's right.
And if you can, if by doing this, someone gets a little more information, which makes them a little more comfortable, I'm satisfied.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go to part 3 of Carson and Addie. right, Addie. So you went to several places and saw a lot of things. What was the thing that tipped the scale for you? You're committing now as a junior, okay? Number one, does that take a lot of the stress off? Do you feel pretty good about that, or tell me about that?
Yeah.
You don't look too stressed anyway.
I try to keep pretty cool for the most part.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously having a phone call every night with a different coach is stressful, trying to keep track of coaches and what they're telling me and who's telling me what.
Yeah.
And trying to get to know a program but not mixing up the programs because just because you're talking to so many coaches.
Okay.
But it's good to have like either just notes in your head or even writing down things and notes and stuff like that about certain places and coaches is really good. But
did you become better organized as the process
went on? For me,
Mom knows all.
So for me, if I really if something really popped out to me or I really noticed something, I'd write it down in their contact, in the notes in their contact and things like that.
Okay.
Just to keep something there so I remember. But
yeah, the worst thing you could do is a coach calls and you think he's a school. How he's from Detroit Mercy, but you call him, hey, how's St. Mary's?
Right.
Something like that. I'm sure it happens, because if you're getting a lot of that many phone calls, it's difficult to keep it all squared away.
When she first started, and we went to Eastern Michigan, that was her first offer. And that was the whole new thing to us. I cried when the coach offered her, and she's just sitting there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a big deal. But she did research on the school before we went there, so it really impressed them that she knew about the program and about the school. So that helped too.
All right. So Detroit Mercy. Not a lot of people around here know Detroit Mercy. That's Horizon League, D1 school. So what was the thought process that you went through to decide on Detroit Mercy?
So I honestly just had this thing in my head, I need to wait, to commit just to see my options or whatever. But honestly, I didn't feel the need to wait.
Okay.
It just felt right, and I didn't find it necessary to wait any longer because, I felt comfortable with the staff, the area and everything. I just, like Carson said, it feels like family over there for me too.
So they're a Division I school. You could find yourself in the NCAA tournament playing against those girls from LSU and Caitlin Clark from Iowa. It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know their record. I don't know a thing about Detroit Mercy. I didn't do my research. I do apologize. Okay. So is that a building program, or where are they at in their development?
So this is the head coach is just now really getting in there. Not just now, but a couple years ago.
Okay.
And so they're kind of just rebuilding and getting things back to where they want to be and stuff like that. So.
All right. And what have you decided? What course of study you want to do, or what do you want to study?
Yeah, I'm looking into sports management business area.
Okay. All right. You can be a sports agent.
Right.
That's how they make their millions. This is sports agent. All right. So you're in a different situation than Carson. Carson's a senior. He's out of here in a couple, 3, whatever that is. He's winding down. You still got your whole senior year to go. I could tell you, as a big fan of Lady Knights basketball, okay, this is the year, okay? I've had my say, all right? You're going to be a senior. You've been at it since a freshman. I think, if I remember correctly, you played maybe one half of JV ball, and that was it. Am I correct in that?
A quarter, yeah.
Quarter. I do apologize. I remember it wasn't much, because then after that you were 6-man, or when you're coming off the bench, and then a starter ever since. So. And you played on some good teams there in the beginning, and last year we have a good team, and this year we got a good team. What's the prospects? What do you feel about going forward for this year?
I'm really excited. I was excited for last year, but we're not as young, so we have a little bit more experience. So I feel like we're ready to go and ready to get in and get started, because I think we're all really excited because we know what we can do.
Yeah, last year you had a new coach. A lot of that's an adjustment. You got a new coach coming in. I think looks like everybody likes the coach and the coaching staff, and you guys all really mesh together. But you're going to be a senior, all right? So that's, now you're at the top of the totem pole. You're not a freshman anymore. Mm-hmm. So do you feel a little more responsibility as being a senior leader as opposed to like freshman, sophomore year? Or tell me about that transition.
Kind of. But honestly, like, I was put in that leadership position my sophomore year because the seniors that year were Anna, who had just come back from her freshman year, and Jill, who hadn't played varsity.
Right.
And so I kind of had to step up that year. And so it was a little rocky just because, like, some relationships were, like, not there or whatever. But I think definitely last year was a better opportunity for me to help like the younger girls and things like that. So. And
you now, like you said, you've had a lot of freshmen, sophomores play the last couple
Mm-hmm.
years, and now everybody's a year older, and everybody's getting better. A lot of AAU ball going on. I follow them on Facebook or wherever it is, because they post their stuff too. So how much time is that?
It's 37 minutes.
Oh, okay. So I have to tell everybody, I said we're on a 20-minute time limit, and my wife just told me, as you can hear in the background, we're 37 minutes in. Time flies, but I didn't think we could do it in 20 minutes because I know you guys had a lot to say. Mm-hmm. All right. Just like I asked Carson, Addie, if there's some girls right behind you coming up. If there's one thing that you've learned through this process, what would that big thing be?
Consistency.
Consistency in what way?
Just workouts, just even like watching game film on yourself specifically, things like that, just like the little things to get better little by little, it'll all build up and make a big difference.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to the season. I know on the Knights Broadcasting Network, we're going to be there with every bounce of the ball, and we want to go a long way because as far as you guys go, we're going with you. So that's what we're looking forward to. All right. So, Mom, as a parent, the parents are right in all this, just like, Carson's parents were right in all this. What advice do you have to those future stars' parents coming up the pipeline?
I guess probably just, the commitment to your child, if to their dreams, so to speak, that it's all worth it. We just say that we're just paying for college while she's in high school, is how we refer to it, because it does take a lot of time and commitment. And if you believe in them, they'll believe in themselves, and they'll want to put the work in, because she's right. There was a couple years that she just wanted to quit.
Yeah. All right. Well, and it's been fun too. You can't rule out the fun, because I'm sure it's been a blast. You guys go to places you probably wouldn't have gone if Addie wasn't taking you there.
Those are our vacations.
Yeah. So and gladly you'll do it.
Yes.
And is my guess. So, well, anything else for the good of the cause that you guys want to share? I'm putting you on the spot. That's how we roll. Go ahead.
I think when you're looking at colleges, I think it's important to share with your kids, not just to look at the program of the sport, but to look at the program of their future career. Yeah. Because Addison wanted to go into business, so the business program at Detroit is phenomenal, and she has lots of opportunity up there.
There is an academic side of this too.
There is,
and you want to get your degree.
Yes.
And because you never know what the future's going to hold, and if you have that degree, you got the degree.
Yeah, and for Detroit Mercy, one of the perks, anytime she wants to take a class, it's free.
Wow.
Even after she graduates.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's something to think about.
Even if you want to get a master's degree or something like that, that is a perk right there.
Yeah, so that's from the parent side of it. And from a parent side, Rick, we truly appreciate everything that you do. All of this and the games, and it has been wonderful. It's been a wonderful high school career for her and for everybody to watch, you guys get their names out there.
Well, we try to do our best. I mean, I've always said that we're here for the kids, okay? We're just, we've always been two old guys production, okay? Because we're old guys, all right? And, but It's fun for us.
Yeah.
I mean, but our whole purpose is to showcase Carson and Addie and everybody on these teams. My only regret is we couldn't have live streamed any of your football games, all right? But maybe that's for another day, subject for another day. We could do a whole show on that right there. But, really, to be honest, this is a small school. We don't have a newspaper anymore like we used to.
Mm-hmm.
And the Indy Star is not coming by to do a feature on Addison Mastriano or Carson Terrell. Okay, they're just not. All right. So this is a way that we can get the word out for these guys, because coaches have an ability to go watch the replays, and I've been told some of them do. And you know what? More power to them. And we're just having fun, and we're only doing a small part. You guys do all the work. Okay. I mean, without you guys doing the work, we wouldn't have a job. So I appreciate all you guys are doing and the things, and it's fun for us because we want to see success. All right,
It's really fun to watch them grow.
When the basketball team loses in the sectional or regional, a little piece of us goes down too. Okay? And we gladly committed to broadcasting all the girls sectional. But boy, I would have loved to see our Lady Knights there.
Yeah.
But with a smile on our face, we go. So
It's very much appreciated.
but we got one more shot at it with Addie and that crew, and we're looking forward to it. Well, guys, I appreciate it. I'm sorry it's more than 20 minutes. You probably haven't eaten dinner yet, so you get to do that. If someone has any questions, can they get you in the hallway or get you at a ball game, and would you mind if they did that? Because parents don't know. All right, literally, when you're a sophomore in high school and you're thinking about this, there's no class you can. Maybe there is, or maybe there's a website you can go to, but it's not. It's better if they could talk to someone who's been through the process.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it. 20 minutes plus later. I want to thank Carson. Thank you. Hey,
Thank you.
Good luck. Really,
Appreciate it.
we'll be watching you. Maybe might even show up at a ball game. Indianapolis isn't that far. Nothing like college football on a Saturday afternoon. Addie, you're going to be here for one more year. So, no tears yet for Mom, although I'm seriously thinking they're coming. Carrie, appreciate you coming. We're looking forward to next fall. We're going to rest up over the summertime, get our energy back, and we're going to go back at it in the fall. And so we'll look forward to that. All right, it's been Carson Terrell and Addison Mastriano and her mom, Carrie Mastriano. We appreciate you guys. We're way over time, but back to you guys in the studio.
Welcome back to Knightline Live. And Rick, we're just talking. The process is different for everyone,
Right.
And I think it's also different for every sport.
Yeah, it definitely is, and we learned that here between basketball and football. And if you have questions, and you heard Carrie, reach out to them. Reach out to Addie. Reach out to Carson. Reach out to Jamie or Jason Terrell.
Yep.
They'd be happy to share with you the process that they went through and the things that they learned, because they learned a lot also.
Absolutely.
So use them as a resource. Use your coaching staff if you want to, involve them, because the more people you can involve in the process, it's a lot. It's a very stressful time for a young kid. They're still kids. Addie's only a junior this year, and she's still a kid. But you grow up during the process. It's kind of fun to see what they're going to do in the future. And hopefully, Jerry, we did this. We've said this earlier, that hopefully somebody can learn something, and that's what my hope is for doing this. So with that, we appreciate Addie, appreciate Carson and Carrie.
That was really good. And, and the other thing comes back, and I can't stress this enough when people talk to me about it, is academic.
Got to keep your grades up.
Keep your grades up,
because that's one thing that can put you over the top.
And like we said, if you and somebody else are the same talent, usually that academic person is going to get the bid.
Yeah. So study hard, keep your grades
Yeah.
up, and do all those things. All right, little housekeeping here.
Oh yeah, we love housekeeping.
Well, we'll be back next week with another show. It'll be a
Yes.
normal format.
Yep.
But we are going to be live streaming baseball on Wednesday, so we'll look forward to that. Game starts at probably 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock against Hagerstown.
You know, big conference game. Knights
Yep.
had a big win tonight over Randolph Southern.
Yeah.
They got another game. They got a busy week. So
Hey, another
baseball
game
Knights-
tomorrow.
Yeah, both softball and baseball very
Yeah.
busy this week.
Yeah.
But hey, I want to thank Carson Terrell, Addison Mastriano, and Carrie Mastriano for taking the time out of their very busy schedules. By the way, I mean they are very busy, but I appreciate all that they were able to offer us, and I think it's time to say good night, Jerry.
Well, good night, Jerry.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. Well, for Rick Fletcher, I'm Jerry Middleton, and you know what? It's been another good night.